Hey there! Ever wondered what's really holding the internet together? When you pull up a web page, what's the invisible framework that makes it all work? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and reveal its secret skeleton.
So let's just dive right in. I want you to picture any website you use all the time, your favorite news site, social media, whatever. What do you think is that one fundamental thing, the absolute blueprint that holds every single one of them together?
The answer? It's a secret skeleton. Now, I know that sounds a little mysterious, maybe even a bit spooky, but trust me, it's the perfect way to think about the hidden structure that literally the entire web is built on.
Okay, so what is this skeleton really? Let's get into the core blueprint itself, what it's called, and what its actual job is. That skeleton has a name, HTML. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and as you can see, this is the language for building the web pages you see every day. It's the absolute starting point for everything you see online.
And if there's one word I want you to really focus on here, it's structure. See, HTML's main job isn't to make things look pretty or fancy. Its job is to give all the content a logical structure. It basically tells the browser, hey, this thing here, that's a headline. And this part, that's a paragraph. Oh, and that's an image.
This is such a great way to picture how it all fits together. You know, if HTML is the skeleton, then CSS is like the skin, the hair, the clothes. It's all about the style and appearance. And JavaScript? Well, that's the brains, the nervous system. It makes everything interactive. But it all has to start with the bones, with the HTML.
So we know HTML is the skeleton. But how do you actually build it? What are the individual bones that hold the whole thing together? It all boils down to two things: tags and attributes. And this is super important, they're arranged in a hierarchy, kind of like a family tree. You have parent pieces that contain child pieces, and it creates this really neat, organized, nested structure. So, what's the difference between them? It's actually really simple when you think of it this way. Tags are the what, and attributes are the how. A tag tells the browser what something is, like a p tag that says, hey, this is a paragraph. Then an attribute gives more info, telling the browser how to handle that thing, like where an image comes from or where a link should go. It's always what versus how. And here's what that hierarchy looks like in practice. This is the fundamental structure of basically every single modern web page. You start with that document declaration right at the top. Then you've got the main HTML tag that wraps everything else. And inside that, you get two main sections. The head, which is for all the behind-the-scenes info, and the body, which holds all the stuff you can actually see on your screen. Now let's zoom in on that very first step, because there's one line of code that is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. It has to be the very first thing a browser sees in every HTML file.
And this is it, doctype HTML. Yeah, it looks simple, maybe a little weird with that exclamation point, right? But this one little line is a powerful, universal signal to every single web browser on the planet.
So what's it telling the browser? Well, just like the name document type suggests, it's defining the type of document. More specifically, it's saying, hey browser, get ready. The file you're about to read is an HTML5 document, which, is the modern standard for the entire web. And right after that doc type, tucked away inside that invisible head section, you find other really crucial instructions. This meta tag, for instance, tells the browser to use something called UTF-8 character encoding. That sounds technical, but it's what lets the browser display everything correctly, from normal letters and numbers to emojis and characters from other languages. It's another one of those vital, behind-the-scenes commands. Okay, so we've put the basic skeleton together. And honestly, just by understanding these few core pieces, you now have a foundational knowledge of how every single website you visit is actually built from the ground up.
So let's just lock in the big takeaways from all this. First, remember, HTML is the skeleton that gives structure to everything. Second, that skeleton is built with a hierarchy of tags, that's the what, and attributes, that's the how. And third, every page kicks off with that one essential line right at the top, doctype HTML.
But that brings us to a really important final question. A skeleton is just bones, right? It isn't a person. So if HTML is just the skeleton, what is it that gives the web its appearance, its style, its life? Answering that is what takes us to the next layer of the web.